quite an essential part of this build, a 3 amp fuse. Right, so today we're installing some LED lighting under this cupboard. You'll be pleased to know I'm wearing my external microphone. So things you're going to need is a little set of LED lights. I got these from IKEA. Some of these little sticky pads and some cable ties. We're also going to be installing a pendant, which I picked up from IKEA, with an LED bulb with the filaments on show, which looks quite nice. For that you're going to want two, well for my instance, I'm going to show you, I need two surface, you want two flush mounted boxes, one switch and an unswitched spur, because I'm going to come off a local socket. Okay, I said unswitched spur, I've gone for a switch spur because that's what they had in stock. What I'm going to do is concentrate on these little cupboard lights. It's quite self-explanatory. Your little driver's inside your plug there, that plugs into your socket, and then you hide all your cables and lights underneath the unit here. Don't make the mistake and buy cheap LED tape off of eBay, because it just looks horrendous. Trust me on this one. I've tried these, I've got them on another cupboard and they look superb. £10 they were for 4. Right, so as you see in this set, you get the 4 lights, which are pretty bright, they're nice. A little switch there, which you can stick under the cupboard with these little pads that you get. I opted not to use these little trunkins because they're just too fiddly. The little lights sit in these little recesses that you screw up to the cupboard with these little screws supplied. And yeah, so all I do is hide my cables underneath, use these pads from Screwfix and use these little ties from Screwfix. So let's get all this installed and we'll have a look what it looks like. Right, so there we go, that's the kitchen with no other lights on. Flick of a switch and that gives you a nice warm white LEDs on the work surface there. As you can see, it's nicely hidden. You will end up with a bunch of cables there, but that's just the inevitable. And then you can cable tie all the way along to each light, like so. If you missed what I did with these sticky pads, let's get a bit of focus first. There we go. You literally peel that off of there, stick it to where you want it, and then put your little cable tie through there like so, and then pull that tight. Next job of the day, I'm going to be putting a switch fuse spur here, a new switch here to switch a new pendant that's going to hang over our dining table here somewhere. So first things first, I'm going to cut my new fuse spur into the ring main, spur off of this ring main here, and then run a 1mm cable up to my new light switch. You might say, why don't you just isolate from your switch spur down there? But I might want to put a dimmer on this at some point, so that's why I'm putting a 1-gang switch here on the wall and then up to our new pendant position. First little job's done. There's my new hole for my switch fuse spur. I'm going to cut one at switch height here, which I believe 120 to the bottom in mine. I'm not 100% sure, I will double check. Just keep yours the same, and then I will be drilling a hole up top of this wall, one in the ceiling so I can get the cable round. There's probably a header here on this wall. I know this is timber wall, study wall. Then I'm going to measure up for my new pendant and drill a little hole there for that. So all we've got left to do now is put a bit of 2.5 from there to there, and then a bit of 1mm up to our switch, and then from our switch up to our pendant. Alright, so if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already know that I picked one of these up from TLC for when you're doing downlighters, etc. on the ceiling. Just hook over your saw, and then you can catch the dust and dirt. So where I'm at with this little one, I've got my 2.5 in from my socket, I've got my 1.5, I've used a bit of 1.5 because that's what the rest of my house is, just to keep the wiring the same, up to my switch. So my brown will be my common here, my blue will be my neutral, and my brown going out will be my switch wire. My blue will literally go in a wago with this blue, and that becomes your neutral, and the brown going out will be your switch line up to your light. So next I'm going to have to drill a hole up here to get my cable from here up to there, and then one in the ceiling and then one where the pendant's going to go. Fixed my spur. I wanted to go with Crabtree to keep these the same, I know. I went with MK because Screwfix never had any Crabtree in stock when I needed it. I'm now going to connect up my, just one essential thing, make sure you change out fuse for a 3 amp fuse, especially when you're coming using lighting off of a power circuit, just fuses it down and limits the ampage basically, and protects the cables because you're using 1.5 cable. Okay, so we're now going to put our switch on here. I'll time lapse that. I had to do a couple more holes because there was a wooden batten here, but what I'll do is put a little piece of timber in, screw it, put the little disc back in, and then I'll do a fill, and you won't even see these holes. I had to do a couple up there because I hit my floor joist there. Okay, so one there. I drilled a little hole for my new cable. I measured out where I want my pendant to be, centre of the table, got my cable through. I'll now put all these holes, make good, second fix that, and we'll have a look. Before I screw that back, I will explain what I've done there. Right, so here we have the cable coming up to my switch. That will be my common. The cable going out to my light is my L1. And then I've got my earths in a wago and my 2 blues and my neutrals, they're in a wago. They're just tuck in the back of the switch. And then you can just screw that back there like that. So that'll be your new light switch for your pendant. Right, the pendant's very easy to connect. You need to buy a hook. I did have one, so I'm going to have to make a hook. That then screws into the ceiling, hooks on there, and then your live and neutral goes straight into there. Very, very simple design. Well done, IKEA. Just cut some little bits of ply down. Put a centre screw in, like that. Pull that tight. Put 2 screws either side. Take that out. Put your little plasterboard disc back in. Put that screw in to hold the plasterboard and then fill over. Quite an essential part of this build, a 3 amp fuse. Get these MK ones straight, give them a little push, and then turn the screw in. Filled all my holes using my little technique. I've just got to give them a skim. I'm not going to show you that in this video because that's boring. Clean the switch off. Right, I've in all honesty not tried this yet. I've put my 3 amp fuse in. I've now got my pendant up. That's a really good design by IKEA there. I've got this 600 from the table. So now there's our isolation, and then we can put it on, and it works. Great. See, I've got the option now if I want to put a dimmer switch on that. That does give you a nice light over the dining table, which is currently my tool table. Nice, I like that. Really like that. Also like my washing in the back there. There we go, guys. Thanks for joining me on this one in my own house. We've done the upper cupboard lights. We've done the under cupboard light. Look, I've got a little plaster on my finger. We've done the under cupboard lights. We've also done the pendant. I've shown you a safe way of doing it. Make sure you isolate the power. If in doubt, get a fully qualified electrician in to carry the work out for you. So I've got a job coming up for you next week, which I'm going to film, and then we've got another day on the loft. So I'll see you on the next one. Take care.